Tastes like no mercy. Tastes like victory.
What's up, guys? It's Brian with Never State Athletics with the legendary Alan Thrall, who's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We are at Untamed Strength in Sacramento, and we're doing part 2 of the Q&A. If you guys want to check out part 1, you can find a link to Alan's channel in the description down below. We go over part 1 where we talk about all kinds of awesomeness. If you want to know how to get bigger, stronger, faster, and more beautiful, this is the guy you want to talk to. So we're getting ready to start part 2, just rolling through your questions. If you guys want to be included in a future Q&A, make sure you get us questions. Either leave them in the comment section down below or in any social media thing where Alan, what's your social media stuff, man?
Instagram is @UntamedStrength. YouTube is old, before I had Untamed Strength, Thrall7.
Right on.
And then you can find Untamed Strength on Facebook. Don't ask to be my friend, Alan Thrall's friend on Facebook. I'm at my max. I have like 5,000 friends, and I know about 50 of them. So
same. All right, so we'll get some questions. So this one's for you, man.
Okay.
How do you raise capital to open your gym? I guess for both of us. I'll answer.
So you're gonna need a little bit of money to open a gym, to buy equipment, to pay for your first month's rent, most likely a security deposit, which is the same as first month's rent. And then you're gonna need a little bit of backup so that you can pay rent for the first 6 months or a year, because you're probably not gonna be profiting right off the bat.
I don't want to cut it. He's doing an entire video, kind of like I'm doing the So You Want to Open a Gym series. He's doing a similar one, and I would highly recommend that you check out his video. He's driving in a car talking all about his experience opening Untamed Strength, and I know you have a video about this coming up, so don't go into details because you'll go into that. But
sorry. No, you're good. You're good. You definitely need some money, and a lot of people will say, "Man, I really want to open a gym, but I just don't have any money." Well, then make some money. You know, if you really want to open a gym, you're willing to do whatever it takes to open the gym. So if you have to spend the next 5 years saving your money up so that you can do it, then you can do it. So if you don't have money, you can always make money. But for me, I was fortunate enough to not do anything in the Marine Corps, not have to spend any money. I didn't have to pay for rent. I didn't have to pay for food. I had a chow hall, and I lived in the barracks. So I was able to save quite a bit of money for 4 years, and that's what helped me get rolling with the gym.
And I have a very similar experience. I had a previous job where I was able to take a lot of the money that a lot of people kind of blew on other things. I lived off protein shakes and like peanut butter.
So not much has changed.
Honestly, it hadn't changed much at all. So the protein shakes and peanut butter, not spending the money on the food, they gave us money to eat, and I chose not to eat. I figured I could do it cheaper and pack less stuff with me if I just did protein shakes and peanut butter. So that's what I did for probably 5-10 years, and then I sold my house. I used all that capital together and bought all the equipment, and that's how my gym started. I think the important thing to note, though, is that, like Alan said, if you really want something, you find a way to make it happen. You don't make excuses. You don't listen to other people saying, "Oh, what do you think about this? What about this?" That's not important if you have a goal. The world moves out of the way of people who know where they're going. Yep. You just need to figure out where you're going. Perfect. Find some money, man.
Yeah.
That question's too long. What are some approximate realistic numbers that a natural beginner/intermediate lifter can expect to add to his major lifts every year?
You should double your squat. You should be deadlifting 600, and you should be benching 350. Everyone within the first year.
It's a better answer than I would have given.
Well, I guess I'll go first. Everyone's got different levels that they start at. So, you know, it's harder to get a strong person stronger. It's easier to get a weak person stronger. So everyone's different. Everyone has different experience levels, and not even with powerlifting or barbell training, just with sports in general. There's all different kinds of starting points, and that's going to have an impact on how much progress you're going to make the first year. I don't think there are any numbers that you should be hitting within the first year because of the reasons I just mentioned. But to give you an answer, because I know you guys don't like these ambiguous answers, you want something straightforward. I think that for a beginner, a good goal, and it's easy to remember, is a 1, 2, 3, 4 plate. 1 plate overhead, 2 plates on the bench, 3 plates on the squat, 4 plates on the deadlift. So there you go. There's an answer. Something to strive for or shoot for.
And if you're more intermediate and you've already hit the 1, 2, 3, 4 plate, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. Perfect.
Tag team.
Would you recommend strongman training for other sports? For example, running or rowing?
Running or rowing?
That's what the examples that Harry Rafe gave.
Well, Harry Rafe, I would say I think strongman does amazing things for a lot of athletes, especially like wrestlers, combat sports, like MMA, grappling types of sports, because you get a crush strength or a squeeze strength. Your upper back gets developed, your lower back gets developed, your entire posterior chain gets slammed every single day during strongman. There is not a day when you walk into the gym, if you're training strongman hard, that your back is fried. It just is. So I think for those type of sports, it is amazing. As far as a carryover to running, I think
getting a runner stronger is always good.
I think getting stronger in every single sport, if you gain overall strength and agility, then you're going to be better at your sport. That said, for running or rowing, rowing's going to have a lot through your back, so strongman will definitely help with that. I always relate it though to like MMA or grappling or combat sports. I think football, strongman is amazing for football or rugby. But running, I don't know. It makes you stronger.
Yeah, not everyone wants to be a power lifter. You're a runner, so you just need to find a way to incorporate strength training into your routine. And I think that strongman is very, anyone could train on a barbell, but strongman is very basic. It doesn't take much time to learn how to do a farmer's walk or how to carry a sandbag. So I guess it'd be functional strength training. It's easier to learn. For most people, they enjoy it a little bit more. So whatever allows you to continue strength training would be the best option.
I want to agree with you on the functional strength thing. A lot of people say that like doing deadlifts or squats builds functional strength. And I guess to a point it does. But strongman builds functional strength because if you can pick up a 300-pound Atlas stone with 0 handles or a 300-pound sandbag, you can pick up a 300-pound anything that you encounter in real life. And everything from carrying your groceries in. A bag of groceries does not weigh 225 pounds in each hand. So if you're used to doing 225 pounds each hand, it gets a lot simpler. There's a lot of things in normal life where after I started training strongman, there's stuff that used to be heavy, like an end table or moving a piece of furniture. And then after training strongman, you go to pick it up and you're like, big, awkward object that doesn't weigh 400 pounds, it's not so bad. It'll make you better at life.
I'm gonna answer this question because it bothers me. Any tips on how to increase ankle mobility? I think some of you guys look too far into ankle mobility. And I have people who come into the gym and give me that I meet for the first time, and they say, I've been for the past 6 months. I haven't added any weight to the bar, and I haven't been doing much squatting. I've really just been focusing on my ankle mobility because I think that needs to be fixed. You're wrong. You've been wasting your time. Ankle mobility is not as important as you think, and I might have contributed to this confusion because I've talked about mobility, increasing your ankle mobility. Tight ankles can be a problem, and they can be a problem. But it's not as big a problem as you think. Really, if you don't have great ankle mobility, you can always adjust the way you squat so that you can still squat to depth without needing your knees to go way forward over your toes. If you can't squat down, ass to grass, high bar squat because your knees aren't able to travel that far forward that your heels come up off the ground, then just go with a little bit more lower bar position, sit your hips back a little bit, don't let your knees travel so far forward, and you'll be able to squat to depth without needing an incredible amount of ankle flexibility. It doesn't take as much mobility as you would think to perform a squat and a deadlift. I don't think Brian is an advanced yoga participant. I could be wrong, but I just don't think he is.
Wrong.
And he's able to squat and deadlift just fine. So, no, I don't have any tips. Oh, how about this? Just continue squatting. Squatting is a loaded stretch.
Yeah.
So that'll increase your ankle mobility. That'll allow you to squat.
All right. Alan.
I can't wait.
How do you train powerlifting / strongman without regular access to power racks, etc.? Don't say join a better gym.
Zach, you already know the answer. That's why you said it. That's exactly what I would say.
Join a better training facility.
There you go. If you want to increase your squat, at first you might be able to power clean the weight and put it on your back and squat it, but eventually you're going to need a rack because the weight's going to be too heavy. So you need a squat rack or something that acts as a squat rack if you want to continue squatting.
If you have a garage, buy a Rogue yoke. Then you have a yoke and you have a rack, right? If you do not have a garage, find a friend who has a garage that likes to lift and see if he'll go halves on you with that. But you need to get a rack if you want to squat. That's like asking an artist to paint a picture without a paintbrush. Like, if this is going to be your art, you need some tools to actually start. And if you don't have a rack, there's no way around that.
No, there's not. I have no idea what we would say.
Yeah.
You need a power rack.
You need a power rack. Start a GoFundMe.
Or, I guess, squat stands. There's DIY, homemade squat stands that you can buy supplies from Home Depot.
Next question. Who's a better dancer? Alan.
Oh, wow.
He'll prove it.
I will prove it in part 3
of
this Q&A.
Coming soon, 2020.
Are you guys going to be on the Powercast? Yes.
C.
Tomorrow, which I don't know when the Powercast will be out, probably a couple weeks. But yeah, we'll be on Mark Bell's Powercast tomorrow. Do you have a poop story ready? Because you're going to need one.
I do.
Okay, good.
It might happen today, though.
Okay, this is a long one. I'm going to browse through it here. Brian, I believe I remember watching one of your YouTube posts about your daily schedule, and you said you don't sleep much, but you're still able to crush workouts and seemingly recover very well. Coming from someone who has a very hard time finding sleep, firefighter, yada, 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 what do you think? Is a workout more important or catching up on sleep?
I think it depends what your goals are. If you're just working out to stay in shape, then I saw the question. He's got a newborn or something.
Yeah, I didn't read the rest of the half.
If being a good dad is part of your thing, you think you need more sleep to be a good dad, then I would tell you to get sleep. If your goals are to be a world champion lifter, if you haven't watched the Eddie Hall documentary that's on Netflix right now, he comes straight out and says, like, I was a terrible father, I was a terrible husband because this is my obsession. This is what I'm going for. I'm able to do it because I've literally had sleeping problems my entire life. So what my norm is probably someone else. If most people walked around the way that I feel most days, I think a lot of people would be like, wow, I'm not even going to the gym today. But this is how I've always been ever since I was a kid. So my norm is a little bit lower than most people's, and my entire life is based around discipline. And it's not about what I want to do or what I feel like doing. It's about what needs to get done. But again, I think it comes down to your goals. If lifting huge weights is very important, then lifting weights is going to be important, but then so is your sleep. If you're not sleeping, I guess Arnold at one point said, everyone has 24 hours in a day. And if you're sleeping for 8 to 10 to 12 of them, then that's a whole lot of your life that you're wasting.
All right, then he says sleep faster.
Sleep faster. That's what he said. So you may not be able to get as much sleep as other people at this particular time in your life, but circumstances change. You just need to go after what you want right now. I know that's a terrible answer, but that's really what it comes down to, is what you want.
It's true, and it kind of goes back to when we talked about squatting 6 days a week. If training is your number one priority in life, and you really want to be a great power lifter, set records, and again, that's your number one priority, then you might make a lifestyle where you can squat 6 days a week or lift 6 days a week, 3 hours at a time. But for most people, they have a busy life that it does not revolve around training. You might be a business owner, you might be a student in law school, you might be working on other things, and powerlifting or getting stronger is not your number one priority. A lot of people just use the gym as a way to improve their life, not necessarily take away from it. So that's really your call to, what is more important.
How do I schedule my workout if I don't have time in the evening for working out?
Make time?
Yeah.
Or train in the morning. I don't know. I'm sure there are people, not saying you're not busy, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who are even more busy than you are, and they make it work. So if you don't have time, you've got to make time. like he said with Arnold, we all have 24 hours, the same 24 hours in a day.
No one has time, man. Time is a funny thing where if you do not fill it with something that you care about, that time mysteriously goes away. Typically, it's cat videos and Netflix. That's what most people's time goes away to. If you have time to watch a TV show once a day, a half an hour to an hour TV show, if you're spending an hour watching TV or cruising the internet, watching this video, our videos are different. Our videos will definitely enrich your life. You should spend at least 3 hours a day watching our video. But any other time that you're spending on the internet or watching TV could have been spent training. So a lot of people who say that they do not have time, I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of people who say that they do not have time to train, I don't have time to watch TV, but I always have time to train. So it's what you want in life. It doesn't always have to be about training, and it doesn't always have to be super disciplined, but if this is a goal in your life, you need to set aside time and not deviate. You leave work at a certain time. Just like if you had to pick up your kid from daycare or whatever, and the daycare place is closing, you don't have a choice. You have to leave work. Well, maybe the gym is your daycare. Like, you don't have a choice. At 6 p.m., you leave, and then you go to the gym. That's what you do, no questions asked, if this is a big goal of yours. If it isn't a big goal of yours, spend your time however you want, man. You only get one shot at life. Don't take it too seriously. None of us are getting out of this alive.
Yeah, it's like you said, you have to make it it's not an option. So it's not, I will train tomorrow if I have time. You're going to train tomorrow regardless. In the Marine Corps, we talked about the 7 Ps. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So make sure the day before or on your weekend that you're planning everything out, routine schedule, you're doing your meal prep or whatever, you're scheduling everything so that you don't have to spend every morning cooking breakfast or packing meals or whatever fills up all your time. You can make time, I promise.
Blaine Harrison asks, would you ever consider going full Viking and growing a hair and beard like Alan Thrall? We covered that in part 1. Go to Alan's page. It's beautiful. Here's the second part of the question. What are your thoughts on hitting squats and bench more than twice a week, and how would you go about programming them in?
Currently, I am doing squatting 3 times a week and benching 3 times a week. I know guys that bench up to 6 times a week. You just have to realize that when you add something in, you have to take something out. So if you're benching more, you might have to take other upper body things away. But the way that I'm actually working with someone right now, so I'm not taking credit for it, but he is having me bench 3 times a week, squat 3 times a week, and it's always a variation so that I'm not just benching or squatting heavy every single day. So I'll have a competition bench day. Another day will be a variation, a pause bench or a touch and go bench, a slingshot bench day. And it's the same with squatting. There might be a competition squat day. There will be a pause squat day, a tempo squat day. And because I can't handle very much weight on my tempo squats or my pause squats as much as I can on my competition squat, it makes it bearable. So I would say if you're going to bench multiple times a week, you've got to do some sort of variation, whether it's incline, pause, tempo, close grip, whatever the case.
And also look up DUP. It's daily undulating periodization, right? He has people squat, bench, and dead. His name's like Mike Zandvoski. That guy. But DUP is basically, it'll take the different intensities and rotate them throughout the week, and you will squat, deadlift, and bench 3 times a week using different intensities so that you don't get overworked at any given time. But definitely check that out. This person asked the question, W.
Is that the name?
No, that's the question. W. X.
Win. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
We win. Given the ever-expanding contradictions and bombardment of misinformation with the fitness industry, it can be tempting for the modern athlete to overanalyze their training and become paralyzed by the details hindering progress. What advice would you offer those athletes hungry for knowledge but exposed to these pitfalls?
I just did, I think it was 2 videos ago, an entire video about this, saying that motivation follows action. Action rarely follows motivation. Go watch that video because I'll go very, very much in depth with that. But I think it is very important, like we've talked about with experience things, that you literally have a curve, or if we're graphing that, on one side of the graph you have your hard work, which is what you're doing in the gym, you're putting out, the harder you work, right? And on the other axis is knowledge. And if your knowledge is too high and it doesn't match your hard work, then you don't really get anywhere. You have paralysis by analysis. And if your hard work is super high but your knowledge is down low, you're either going to stall out at best or you're going to get hurt. So you need to find a good type of just constant line going up so that as you get stronger, you learn more about your squat form. And then as you get even stronger, then you learn more about program. And even as you get stronger, then you learn about like CNS recovery and all those types of things. But honestly, there is not that much that you need to know for probably your first 5 years of lifting. The biggest thing that you need to know is get in the gym, lift heavier weights than you want to for more reps than you want to, go home, eat more food than you want to, and then rest and recover more than you want to. If you do those things, in 5 years, you will be a different person. But before that 5 years, if you're spending all your time on the internet trying to figure out the intricacies of squatting 1,000 pounds, but you squat 135, my advice is going to be to go squat.
Yeah, so you, with all the information that's out there, the only thing that actually holds up, stands up, is there are some very basic principles. The first one would be basic barbell training is going to be number one in terms of getting stronger. I'm assuming that's what you're looking for, is to get stronger. So really, just find a program that centers around the bench squat, the deadlift, and the overhead press that has some sort of realistic progression. Do it. If it works, I'm sure it will. That's great. Try out multiple programs and see what works for yourself. Experience is important.
And also don't be afraid, if you're doing a program and it's working, keep doing that program. Like, milk that program for everything that you could possibly do. Don't read an article on a website and be like, oh, that looks cool, now I want to try that. Like, that is a mistake. The more you jump around, the more training ADD you have, the less progress you are going to make. You stick with something until it stops working, then you switch it up, and then the new thing will start working. Doesn't mean you can't go back to the first thing after trying something else out, but don't jump around to a new program every 5 weeks and expect to see progression. That's not how progression works. Like, you'll be taking steps all over the place rather than just taking one foot in front of the other.
It's the same thing with really any goals that you have in life. And when it comes to starting a business, I didn't know everything at first, but I knew it was all going to be a process and I was going to learn along the way. I knew I needed a business license, I needed a place to train people, and I needed some equipment. So I went with that first. I didn't ask a whole lot of questions because I know that everyone's experience and everyone's answer is going to be different. So I said, I'm going to figure it out for myself. Training is no different.
We good? You good there?
Pretty good.
All right, guys. So thanks so much, Alan, for doing this. Thanks so much for being on the channel. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Until I see you next time, go out and do something amazing in your life. Keep working hard. Be nice to each other. And always remember, come on, man.
Train on time!